Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Baylor Athletics Hall of Fame, Lenka Broosova.
I know what you're all thinking. Wow, she's blonde right now. First of all, like Anna said, I just feel very overwhelmed with gratitude. I knew this was a big deal, but not until I'm truly standing here, I truly feel the magnitude of that feeling. So I'm just really grateful to be here. Before I get started, I want to give a huge shout out to my girls over there, the current women's tennis team. I love you girls. Joey and I get to coach the best group of girls, young, strong females that I'm just proud to coach. So huge shout out to you guys. I believe I was destined to come to Baylor and play for Joey. And then I was destined to come back and coach here with him. But I also believe with all my heart that I was destined to win a national championship for Baylor with Joey and you girls. Ever since I was a little girl, I have been super competitive. I wanted to outrun all the boys in the neighborhood. If they beat me at the game of horse, I asked my dad to teach me how to shoot the ball better so I can beat them the next day. But tennis wasn't in our family. My dad was a basketball player who never played tennis in his life, and my mom was a high school teacher. Tennis is a very expensive sport, so we couldn't afford personal training, so my dad had to somehow become my coach in 2 months. He watched countless videos, read thousands of books, and as he was teaching himself, he was teaching me. He would feed me balls in our backyard, yelling at me that my footwork wasn't good enough. I wanted to hit that ball exactly in his hands every single time. And when I missed twice, I'd wake up the next day, beg my dad to do the drill with me again, promising that this time I will not miss. Before success, expectations, and other people getting involved, those are my favorite memories because it was just us, a father and his daughter, creating memories, doing what people said couldn't be done. It is truly remarkable what a father will do to help his daughter achieve her dreams. One of my favorite things about tennis is that you never play against the clock. You play against yourself and your opponent. Until you lose or win that last point, you can improve something and influence the outcome. I was never afraid to work hard, so I thought it was all on me whether I won or lost. But boy, was I wrong. Without realizing it, winning tennis matches became my only source of self-worth. I always thought that what would make me successful was my fear of failure, but that is exactly what kept me from greatness. It made me more scared, very angry on the court, and most of all, it made me hate the game I once loved so much. After my dad couldn't coach me anymore, my new coaches had no idea how to help me. They only cared enough to tell me what I wanted to hear or didn't really want to dig deep and truly tell me the truth. But I knew deep inside that something was missing, that I could be so much more what I appeared to be. I knew that I needed to be part of something bigger than myself, something that would last forever. Now, few experiences in life are more satisfying than becoming who you always imagined you could be. There are many people who have shaped me into who I am today, and they can't be all named in my speech since I'm already going about 1 minute above the limit. But I always have been different, so we'll see how long this ends up being. I want to tell you about 2 people who forever changed the direction my life was going. So, how does a girl from Slovakia who threw rackets, tanked matches, and was starting to hate her sport turn into a 5-time All-American and now a Baylor Hall of Famer? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, thank you, America, for college tennis. What a blessing. I love America, first of all. Huge fan, obviously. I was recruited by 2 coaches who were total opposites. First one was a higher-ranked school coach, but sounded exactly the same as my old coaches. And then there was Joey Scrivano. Joey told me the truth from the first moment he met me, and that is exactly what I wanted in a coach and what I needed. Joey telling me that I had so much room for improvement and could be so much more was good news to me because I didn't really like who I was at that moment. He believed in who I could be, not just who I was at the moment. I can't tell you all the ways I grew and matured with Joey as my coach, But to summarize, I learned one of the greatest lessons in life, and that is, it is not about me. Even though tennis is an individual sport, being only focused on myself had made me ungrateful and blind to what the true meaning of any sport is. Joey helped me see what my life would have been if I gave it a little more meaning, if I shifted my focus on a higher cause. It was about what the team could accomplish together for Baylor, not just my individual performance. And from that point on, I became blindly committed not to myself, but to the team, not results, but growth. And I demanded the same commitment from all my teammates. Now, don't get me wrong, personal results followed pretty quickly. That year, I won 52 matches, like you guys heard, and while making the first Final Four in program history. Another person at Baylor who completely transformed the way I look at life was my strength coach, Sean McPherson, who is here tonight. During one of our workouts, just so you know, I wasn't the fastest or the strongest on the team. So you can imagine that I struggled a lot. During one of our workouts, Sean put a hurdle in front of us to jump over, and my thoughts were, here we go again, how am I gonna die today? After I saw how tall it was, I looked at him and said, I physically cannot jump over this thing, Sean. And he didn't say a word, because he's Sean. So I half tried, then I started again, and I stopped. And after a workout, I'll never forget what he said to me. He said, it is okay to be scared, but it is not okay to let that stop you. He also called me a pit puppy right after, and it's an inside joke. At that moment, I realized that everything I wanted and who I wanted to be was on the other side of fear and discomfort. He continued to put challenges in front of me to make me tougher and tougher, and even though I failed many times, I used those failures as bricks to my new foundation. Excuse me. People who believe in who you can be instead of who you are and are willing to take the risk of hurting your feelings are priceless. Joey and Sean taught me that mentality and your mindset are the strongest assets that you can have. Lion isn't the strongest or the biggest or the fastest, but he's the king of a jungle. Why? Because of his mentality. So again, how does a girl that used to tank matches, throw rackets, and think only about herself become a Hall of Famer? Because she had people in her life who weren't afraid to challenge her and believed she could be incomparably better as a human being. During my 4 years at Baylor, we accomplished a lot. Even though our ultimate goal was to win a national championship, we were never patting each other on the back of how far we have come and how much we have overachieved, and trust me, we overachieved every single year. We were the first team ever to beat Stanford in Elite Eight and became the #1 team in America my senior year. But I don't tell you this to brag, but I tell you after all these years, I am more proud of how we got there than we got there. I am proud to say that we became national champions in the process. I'm proud to say that we demanded excellence from each other, that we had courage to fail, that we had done a lot with what we have been given, and we gave absolutely everything we had to Baylor. We got up after every setback and held our heads high. At the end, only came up short because we ran out of time. Now, ironically, that used to be my favorite thing about tennis, remember? Playing against the clock. But I didn't let the fear of that hurdle stop me from jumping, even though in the eyes of the world, I'm not a national champion. So to me, the reason why I'm standing here is not because I won 154 matches. The reason why I'm standing here today is because thanks to Joey and my teammates, especially Taylor Ormond and Jonas Stanjevuk, I can say, like Teddy Roosevelt said, my place shall never be with those timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. I'm almost done, I promise. But there's one last chapter to my story that I think is really important to share. When I came to Baylor, I was essentially an atheist. That explains a bit why I struggled to see tennis as my calling, rather who I was. But Baylor is a special place. There are so many people living out Christian values every single day. My best friend Lindsay and her parents, Nancy and Mark Jackson, who also went to Baylor. Ken and Jill Lawrence, who are also here tonight. These people planted seeds of faith and helped prepare my heart to receive the ultimate truth, that I am a sinner in need of a Savior. No tennis match, no trophy will ever fulfill my heart the way Jesus Christ can. You know, Tim Keller said it best. He said, "To be loved but not known is comforting but superficial. To be known and not loved is our greatest fear. But to be fully known and truly loved, well, a lot like being loved by God. It liberates us from pretense, humbles us out of our self-righteousness, and fortifies us for any difficulty life can throw at us." Amen, right? I'm so thankful for the role Baylor has played in my life, and how fortunate I am that I still get to live it every single day. So as I conclude, I need to give special thanks to Joey, Jovan. Is Jovan here? No? Great woman. Love her. And Mac Rhodes for bringing me back to Baylor. Kenny Boyd, our current sports supervisor. Hey, Kenny. And to those who are so important to my time here as an athlete. Lane Jackson, Jasmine Saliga, Tom McAndrews, Stacy Falconieri, Mac Knoll, Carissa Rucci, Jackie Haddock, Donna, my first assistant ever, Mark and Paula Hurd, Tracy and Randy Sage. Thank you to the Baylor family from the bottom of my heart.